But good event.
Yeah,
Sold it out. All white party. Done a bit of work with Sully and Joel, who help produce our podcast sometimes. Look really good.
Yes, the team.
Yeah, the team.
It's
working
man.
well.
The video went up.
But yeah, man, well done. It's been fucking ages since we've done a pod. I was like, where's Chika? I keep on seeing him like online on the pod. I'm like editing videos of you. I'm like, my bro's gone.
I'm back now.
He's back.
Back and better.
How was South Africa as well? Sick?
Oh no, man. I implore everybody that has time or the money to go out there and just spend at least a week or two there. You'll have a great time in Cape Town. Even Johannesburg. I've been there before, but Cape Town.
Fair. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, just a great place, great people, good vibes, good events, good beaches. You can see safari, you can go see the penguins. They got everything, man. Like,
Sick.
yeah.
Fucking. So, sorry, where was it again?
Cape Town.
Cape Town. I thought you went somewhere else. Was it just Cape Town?
Yeah, Cape Town.
Oh, fair. And nice for that. See, like you do. I was having this conversation the other day with someone, and they were going, "Chika might be one of the coolest people I know." And to be fair, you're a very cool guy. I'm not denying that. You're up there. You might be top 5 people I know. But because I've known you since you were like 14. When I see you at a function and you're the guy and like you're living your best life, I just see the little idiot taking fucking silly photos on a ferry and like putting it in and like I'm like there is no doubt you are a very cool guy, but I see like a lot of other people that are very close to you. I see the other side. When you come in farting, like munching in mics and just being yourself.
I'm human.
Yeah, you're both. You're both. You can't have a yin without a bit of yang.
In my opinion, that's what makes me cool.
Because you're authentic.
Because I can fart. And I don't care. I don't care.
I just spilled my fuck. Go on.
I don't care who I fart around. I don't care what they think. I'll fart in front of you. I'll fart in front of fucking Beyonce.
Would you?
Yeah.
I don't think I'd have the balls to do
Make her
that.
smell it.
So you know when I did a whole feature where I thought the dentist farted in my face, you were giving me grief for that, saying like people are asking me about that, and now you're talking about farting in Beyonce.
She's at a profession, like she's really digging off on your breath, like for her to nah. Keep it on the job, be on the job. Like I'm just talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say real ones will know. No one will know that story because it's back when we were doing like next to nothing. But yeah, I thought my dentist farted in my face once. There you go. But I wouldn't fart on Beyonce.
I would.
You're that guy. You're that guy.
No, because I'd fart in front of Beyonce.
Yeah. What about Thames?
Make her fart.
Should we get onto the football? Also, by the way, I think, you know, like I said, you're like top 5, maybe like coolest people I know.
Yeah.
You're also like top 5 most stinky farts. Like,
Good.
it means you're eating well.
Does it?
Yeah. I put Felix in there as well. No one will know who Felix is. Well,
Yeah.
actually, a lot of people would know who Felix is. Maybe if it's like friends listening. Felix is there. But I don't know if like there's a French stereotype as part of that. You're in there. And there's a few other people I will not name because I'll hurt their feelings. But yeah, you and Felix, Jesus Christ, when you rip ass, I've never smelt anything quite like it. Anyway, welcome back. I hope you've all had a lovely Christmas. This guy's in the summer sun, living his best life at festivals, and I think everyone needs to go, as you say, South Africa or Africa in general during like the December time, because I always get such like FOMO when I see you out living your best life in the summer. Like you're living your summer in December. I feel like probably summer's a bit of a letdown because you always have such a good time.
To be fair, I wasn't even looking forward to going to Nigeria like that, but
You always are. You always love it.
No, I lie.
Yeah, you always.
Yeah, but I don't get excited. Like I don't look forward to stuff.
I wouldn't say that.
Nah, I don't really.
You're calm about it. Yeah,
I don't get excited until I'm there.
But you're always making plans.
Yeah.
Oh. Do you have any plans with Beyonce? Or Thames? Could have bumped into Thames.
I've got big plans.
For this is the man who sold out an arena with 1.5 thousand people, had one of the biggest Nigerian artists show up, fucking performed on the decks.
Yeah, shout out to Level 10,
this podcast is gonna bring everyone back to down to earth. If you, yeah, as I say, man, you're just my guy. I see every aspect of you, and you are cool because you fart. Someone who hasn't been very cool, Gyökeres. I've got a notepad, this Two Left Feet show, because if you are listening, I haven't done this in a while. When was the last time we recorded? December?
Yeah.
It just feels like so much has happened. Like I've left my job, I'm now free. Like, just so much has changed. But yeah, I got a little notepad, things I've been wanting to talk about for a while. One of them.
Look at his granddad with a notepad, bro.
Do you know what? I started writing stuff down.
So it's supposed to come. What happened to coming from the heart? Like,
No, I mean.
might as well. Let me ask ChatGPT what I should say.
Oh no, this is not AI. Oh, I'm showing everyone the show. What's wrong with writing things? Because I stare at a screen 24/7 now. If it's Two Left Feet or it's like doing this right now is lovely because I'm not staring at a screen. It's lovely, but I'm writing things down. It also sends me to sleep. All right, but one thing I've written in my lovely notepad is Gyokores. And you know, I did that video where I was going on about how I don't think he's as bad as people think. I think he might be as bad as people think, I'm not going to lie. I was thinking about a way in which I could describe it on the pod with the way I feel about it now. For me, the thing that's worrying me, I know he's just got man of the match. Yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah. Do you want to show the screen and I can attach it on the pod? Man of the match, and then Liam Rossignol as Will Mackenzie. Yeah.
The PE teacher.
Yeah.
6.5 year deal they gave him. Fucking hell.
It's the history of the Chelsea. But
he's not that bad.
Oh, so by the way, PSA, sorry if this one's a bit all over the shop already. I'm getting used to doing this again.
There was actually a debate in my work. Who's better player, Timo Werner or Gyökeres?
It's too early.
No, it's not.
No, because like if I think Timo Werner, if we're comparing to something to Chelsea Werner or Spurs Werner,
They're both shit.
Yeah, I know, but
Gyökeres ain't that bad.
Do you not? You were the. Have we switched?
He's very frustrating. Like I wouldn't say he's a great footballer, but he's effective for the way that we play, and I want a lot more from him. Don't get me wrong. Like, is he our striker? I don't know. I probably don't even think so. I think we can get a striker that's as useful as him, but can he fucking score goals and just be a bit more pleasant on the eye? Okay,
so the way I see it is, and I was thinking about this today. I don't think he's Werner bad. I don't think he's trying to think of another flop.
Werner he's in his prime and he's playing MLS football.
Is he in the MLS now?
Yeah, San Jose Earthquakes just got him.
Fucking mad.
29.
Gyökeres, all right, I was making this point about him making runs in behind. The Gyökeres stat is mad, actually, about the games we've lost with him in the squads. I can put it up here. It's like I think we've only lost like one game, and then when he got injured,
Liverpool, yeah.
When he got injured, we
was our worst centre form, yeah.
But then again, that's also the time of the year.
Have you seen whenever he comes off the field how we always just retreat, how we always concede, we can't under the cosh?
Yes. However, I don't think he's the man to take us forward, and I think he's not as bad as people may think. I think his...
You're maybe going to give him the season?
Yeah, of course. I want him in the squad. We spent the money on him. I want him to play. But I just think... I don't think he fits the squad very well. I think the best way to describe it is... You know how you were talking about how, like, Isak's struggling because he doesn't have touchline wingers? Arsenal don't have touchline wingers like a Jacob Murphy as well. Yesterday, Saka got the ball on the right, and before Gyökeres' goal, before he laid it off to Ben White, who then crossed it over the Sanchez mistake, Saka should have laid it in earlier to suit Gyökeres' game. But
Gyökeres' goals, if you look at all his goals, none of them came from like touchline play.
Yeah, that's the point.
But we don't play touchline football. Like,
that's the point. Why are they not coming from touchline? Because we're taking extra touches out wide, and that's fair. That's Saka's game, but it doesn't complement Gyökeres. And if you watch, Trossard is the only one in the squad that plays the ball early. Eze won't do it on the left. Martinelli won't do it on the left. Saka won't do it on the right. Maddest won't do it on the right. And when Gyökeres has been playing with Trossard, he's got a few opportunities and got into better spaces, but when he's not there, it just does not suit him. It does not suit the system. And what really worried me in the last few games was his hold-up play. It's just not been good enough. Yesterday, against Chelsea, I'll give him it. He had a good game. But it's very far and...
few and far between.
Few and far between, thank you. I think his profile helps us a lot. I think you're right in that. We retreat, blah, 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 blah. But he's a very frustrating player because he's not holding up the ball well enough. Chelsea was the first game where I thought, all right, you're doing quite well. You're holding it up well. You're not getting bullied. It's his footballing ability that's worrying me.
Yeah, look, I think he's a guy, don't get me wrong. Is he world class? No. Is he going to be world class? No. Are we being harsher? Actually, no, I don't think I'm even being harsher. I
think people have been quite...
I've been anti-Gyok. I've been borderline anti-Gyok. But, at the end of the day, like, if we're winning matches and, he's part of that, then I have no problem. It's just when he's starting to get chances and he's missing them, that's what I have a problem with. Yeah. And obviously, like, in the Liverpool game, he wasn't able to hold up the ball. Had, like, very few touches. It was very... Yeah, like, obviously the Liverpool game was terrible. Like, hard to watch him just be non-existent for the whole game. Yes, he was occupying the centre-backs, but the ball never stuck in positions where it should be sticking. So... I'm not happy with him, but right now I'm content with the team and he's part of the team and he's being useful in certain regards. I see a difference when he comes off, There's certain traits in Jesus that, yeah, he's a baller, but really and truly, he doesn't have that presence up front. People have always said that that guy's borderline positionless. He's not really been a striker. Yeah,
100%. And same with Havertz, but I think what we're seeing is a profile rather than ability. I think was and as that profile, with what he should, he's obviously a presence. He's got a name to him, but for me, his movement in the box is nowhere near good enough. Against Liverpool, I wanted to fucking dash my remote at the TV.
That was
I see his influence, like against Bournemouth for Declan Rice's goal. 4 Bournemouth players went to him and it made the space and Odegaard could lay it out to Declan Rice, I'm pretty sure. Like, don't get me wrong, he does make a difference in that regard. That was the point I made before. But for me, it's that hold-up play. It's that technique. It's that movement in the box. And it's just not being in the right position at the right time. Do you know what I mean? Like, people have a knack for it. Chicharito comes to my head. I know completely different players. I know Gyökeres isn't a poacher. But even Drogba, like, just like clever movement, like feinting to go to the front post and going back post. And, when he misses chances because he has so few touches, I think he had like the fewest again against Chelsea at the start of the game. When he doesn't score or he misses a chance, the problem is, in everyone's head and in my head, I'm going, Haaland would have buried that. Because it's the exact same profile as striker. And I think Haaland's obviously a world beater. Haaland's Ballon d'Or, world-class, incredible player. All that criticism you had about Haaland before, about a year ago. You said, this hold-up play, rah, 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 rah. But even when he didn't have great hold-up play, he was getting into those right positions. He was scoring. And Gyökeres isn't doing that. And for me, that's worrying. He got a bit lucky yesterday with his goal. And yes, Saka should have laid it in earlier, but he's essentially a target man. And he's not holding up the ball enough. He's not being deadly enough. And he's not getting in the right positions enough. I think he's a presence and I think he opens up the pitch for a lot of players. But it really worries me. he's like a C plus Haaland.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I'm not going to cast my judgment on him yet.
I want him to do well.
He's incredibly frustrating to watch. Like, that Liverpool game was tough to watch. The game before was tough to watch. But, you know, I think, to me, it can only get better. He seems like a type of player that maybe might need a few games to get on his belt. A bit of rhythm, a bit of confidence. You know, the support of his teammates. All of that for them to get used to his runs, for them to spot him in certain situations. Him to get used to, like, okay, these guys are going to find me if I make this run. Not like wasting his runs and be like, oh, whatever, wasting his energy. But look, we're in a good position now, 6 points adrift, in control of the Carabao Cup semi-final tie, an FA Cup against Wigan at home, top of the Champions League. Look, like, I'm not distraught. Let's just hope he doesn't go on a Giroud run in the run.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That'd be crazy.
For me, it's weird. I'm thinking out loud now, and yeah, I know I've explained all. I genuinely think it's just a hold-up play that's really fucking pissing me off. Because if you're that big, I don't know. It's like I just want to scream in his face and just be like, run, be more passionate. Like, I don't know. But look, maybe it's teething problems. Of course, I want him to do well. Hope he does well. But for me, it's just there feels like a technical deficiency compared to the rest of the squad. And I think that's what's really frustrating me. And hopefully that can improve. But, you know, like, even before yesterday, there was this thing about Burnley and Leeds. I'm going on about it. But I remember going through Gyökeres' stats for his last season at Sporting. And he didn't score against the big clubs that much. I think he did.
Yeah, like
I'm not saying he didn't score against Benfica or Porto. He did. But if you look at his stats...
most of them were penalties.
Most of them were penalties. He's bagging 3 against Rio Ave. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can look through his stats and think, oh, he didn't even do it that much against the big clubs in Portugal. And that was my worry. Look, I don't know. I think we... Right now, it feels like we've kind of got... You know, it's like a Saturday and you've brought in a ringer. And it's like, you're trying to make sure he does well. But you can just tell he's a level below in terms of technical ability. And I know he's not that player. So we'll have to see how it unfolds. But yeah, for me, it's not even the goals at this point. Yes, I know I said this whole thing about comparing him to Haaland, but he sometimes just looks lost.
He's got to give us one, yeah. He's got to give us, you know, goal scoring and the appetite to get in the box and get on the end of things.
Yeah.
Or he's got to give us all-round play. You know? And right now he's doing both at a very poor level. I can understand that. But let's just see. You know, we're in a good position. Like I said, we play well with him in the team.
Yeah.
Some of the bigger games, maybe that's why we haven't won a big game this season, really. Haven't beat Chelsea in the league. Haven't beat City in the league. Liverpool as well. Those are teams that finished in the top 4 last season. Obviously, Newcastle, we beat them as well. But yeah, last season we did well against the big teams. Gave them questions. And now we got a bit of a chip on our shoulder with Liverpool now only managed to get 4 points against us this season.
He was so frustrating.
A poor Liverpool team at that.
Yeah. And for me, he's just not... He should be bullying teams more than he is. There's just so many elements to his game and it's like my head's everywhere with it. But he hasn't come big against the big clubs yet. And that's another thing that's worrying me. I feel like I was a bit all over the shop. But yeah, no, it's... You know, you sign players to make a big impact. You pay that money to make a big impact. You pay that money to create magic. And I haven't seen that magic yet. Yeah. And that is frustrating. And yes, I know, and I'm very behind the idea that he is making space and his presence alone is doing that. But if you sign a player to be a striker, you need a bit more than that.
Agreed. Time will tell.
Now, Starboy is now the main boy. Starboy is now Capitan sometimes. Starboy's just signed a new contract till 2031, £300,000 a week. He's got that New Balance still. He's got that New Balance deal as well.
Mm.
I'd like to be Miss Saka right now. Or I'd like to be the brother of Saka right now. And he totally deserves it and seems like a lovely lad. But fair play to you, mate.
No, he's
What a
done well.
contract.
He's done well, man. He's done well. Negotiated well. Done it the right way. Never had any sort of bad press or nothing. He's now married, engaged. He's on the up, man. You know, there's a lot of things going on in his life. Maybe that's affecting some of his performances at the moment.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
But I'm happy with him.
Yeah, I think he's allowed to have this lull. He's carried us so many times. I for the first time ever in a few games recently, I've been a bit frustrated. But at the same time, I know I've just said this against Gyökeres and said he's just the presence. But Saka is a presence as well. You will double up on him.
Mm.
I think he's been a bit wasteful in front of goal, like a few times. But then again, like I was thinking in my head, I'm probably being a bit harsh because his build-up play, like I think something that people don't really credit Saka for is going to sound a bit sus, but like the way he holds off the ball, the way he shields it, like. I know Dembele was big for it, or like who said this quote about Yaya Toure about how
Hazard.
like he puts his like back
Hazard.
Yeah.
Toure said it about Hazard, yeah.
Yeah. Saka does the exact same thing and he shields the ball so well. And like he always just takes care of it for that extra second and waits till the player's in the right position to pass it. I know Arteta's big on that, so I wonder if he's had an effect on that. But yeah, I'd say chance creation, he's been a bit off in the last few weeks. Obviously, as you say, there's a lot going on, but I think he's allowed to have this lull, and I think in a way it's even harsh because, as I say, his build-up play is still being fantastic. Now, a lot of what I've seen in the contract is it's like the star boy is now ready to become the main man, so that's why I introed it like that. I kind of wanted to ask you because I know you're such a big Saka fan, like myself and a lot of other Arsenal fans, and to be honest, football fans in general. What do you see the next 5 years for him? Like, what levels can he reach? Because he's reached such a high level already.
I think it's team dependent, you know. If we match his, you know, his belief to win, and like, I think we can go on we can create a generational thing here. If we are able to win the Champions League within the next 2-3 years, win back-to-back Premier Leagues, probably one of the hardest things to do, back-to-back Premier Leagues. It's hard to... But I think once we get that first title, I think the hunger for success and like the rest of the world will now have an opinion of us to like that we can win stuff and we can go on and we can almost not build a dynasty. You know, dynasty is obviously almost unspoken of. There's only a few teams that have been able to do that. Man United, City, kind of Chelsea at certain points, but you know, Liverpool have had great teams and they haven't been able to do that. I think we were able to match his ambition. I think there's no reason he's able to be up there and be he's already one of the leaders for England. He's in the leadership group.
England?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's him, Declan Rice, Bellingham, Kane, I think Henderson or someone else.
Yeah, Henderson.
And for me to see Saka's name there, it's just like, wow, you know, this guy's not a boy no more.
Yeah, as I said, I made the point before in the pod that he seemed like a baby. I think he's always had such a baby face.
Yeah.
That you think that, and he's soft spoken and seems like such a like really nice, just a really nice bloke.
Right. Bro, he still gets so much hate, so much, you know, comparison, disrespectful comparisons. Like, there's no way I'd have anyone else starting. I'm not even trying to be biased. As an England fan, no one else should be starting in that team at right wing.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
No, you know, you can talk about Palmer, but what has Palmer really done? Especially for, you know, Palmer's had some good games for England, don't get me wrong, but, you know, he hasn't had the same consistency. Even the past year has probably been quite tough for him with the injuries and his drop in form at in 2025. But nah, I think Saka is the baby-faced assassin. Like, he's able to keep up the same level of performances no matter what, at club level, country level. And like I said it before, he's the best floor player that I've seen, at least for the past 2 years.
Yeah, he's just incredible. And long may it continue.
Hey man, just lend me a $5, man. I'm
Trust me.
suffering out here, bro.
Yeah, well, yeah, from your trips this December. So I've got my little notepad back out again, and I was listening to my favourite podcast that I go on about all the time, bit of Arscast. And did you know we've hired? This is the most Arteta thing ever. A specialist throwing coach.
Yeah.
Gronenmark, the Danish guy. And I saw the Arscast people, James and Andrew, were talking about how we don't really have that long throw much, and we don't have a Semenyo. We don't have who's the guy for Brentford? I always forget his name. We only have Rice, and he can't. I've seen him do it a few times. It's good, but it's not quite Carling.
It don't get too far.
Yeah, it don't go too far. So apparently Gronenmark's come in, and what they're saying in the articles is that he's come in to utilise quick throws.
Yeah, but that's always been...
But do you know the most interesting thing? Sorry to interrupt. They don't see throw-ins as set pieces. So Nikola Jova wouldn't have anything to do with the throw-ins because they see it as an open play thing. Bizarre. But we've brought him in. I don't think we've ever utilised long throws very well. So unless we bring in a Rory Delap, I don't see what difference this is really going to make. Maybe I'm just going to be brought up to me again. But yeah, just a little point. I just thought it was really random.
Yeah, no, I saw us ironing. I don't look into it too much because there's only so much I can analyse about quick throws and long throws and the way that it's kind of done. But
is the game gone?
The game's not gone. It's becoming a bit more like American football, to be fair, but with all these tactical plays and repetition, these movements and set pieces and all these triggered runs. But at the same time, the game's going to evolve and it's going to continue to evolve. I think in about 10 years' time, we're going to see something else that's crazy. And
yeah. Do you think...
we'll think about, throw-ins. Oh, shit.
What was I going to say? What was I going to ask you? It's gone. Oh, if this throwing coach, he comes in and the results speak for himself, like Arsenal score, or any other throwing coach, it leads to 2 or 3 more goals this season. Do you think it's worth hiring someone on $50,000 a year for that, let alone for 3 goals?
I'm sure.
If you deep it like that, it is a bit crazy.
But that's nothing.
Also, I'm just thinking he's got a job where you have to kind of invent your own jobs or responsibilities in the day. It's mad.
To be fair, there could be a week where they're not even practicing throw-ins at all, so you're just there just watching.
That's mad, and that's your job. Well, if it leads to more goals, I'm not complaining. Well, hopefully it gives us more confidence. This is a really bad segue. And sorry this has been Arsenal so far. It's just we are top of the league and I haven't seen him for a month, so it's going to be a lot of Arsenal. It's 2 left feet, but really the logo should be red and white. But Myles Lewis-Skelly. Now, I touched on this before with you, saying that I think, does he go out on loan? Will he get frustrated against Chelsea? We're recording this the day after the first leg of the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. He has Calafiori ahead of him, injured, and Campe in front of him, injured. And then he thinks, I'm third choice, I might get a game here. Drops in for Timber. Now, I don't know if that's because of Estevāo and thinking Estevāo's going to cut in on his left, so maybe Timber was good on his right. I thought, we'll get on to Estevāo in a second. I thought Estevāo gave him a good game, but I thought when he got a few shots off on his left foot, but I thought there were there were times where he would get in the box and he would go to that left and Timber looked really confident. It was like Timber liked him on the right. So I don't know if it was a tactical decision because if it was, I think it worked.
It's both.
But he
Myles Lewis-Skelly had one of his worst ever games coming on against Liverpool.
He looked awful.
Bro, he was skinned by Frimpong. Frimpong's giving him little jukes out. Yeah. Frimpong's quick, don't get me wrong. And, it's no slouch, but making Frimpong look like Prime Robin, I did not rate it at all. At the end of the day, this is a results-based business. If you're not able to perform at the highest level, someone's going to take your place. Someone's going to come in. Ben White, anytime he's probably played in the past 4 or 5 matches when he's got an opportunity, he's been quality. He's been really good. So, if you've got one of the best lockdown wingers, fullbacks, in Timber, able to lock up one of the most promising wingers in the Premier League at the moment, then you do that. You make that switch. It's not like Timber is probably a poor crosser of the ball, in my opinion. Timber can't cross the ball that well at all. That's his one weakness. He doesn't have that pizzazz to... He's better in tight spaces and under pressure and battling and manoeuvring on the ball, but one of those things where it's like what Reece James and Trent have over him is kind of like being able to just switch it or have that magic of just getting out your feet and like on the swivel, just creating a chance out of nothing.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that, but Ben White is able to get to the byline, putting crosses when he's travelling at speed. Timber can't do that. So I think that's another reason why we probably see, Gyökeres not getting too many chances because Timber's kind of taking more touches, and by that time they settle. Ben White's just like, boom, clear. Obviously, you're going to get worse ball progression with Ben White and other things, but if you're going to be direct, if you're going to be one of those teams, you need to see which patterns you're going to get. It's the same way, like even maybe Saka's probably doing a bit less in his productivity. I'll say it's because Ben White gets the ball to him quicker.
Yeah.
Timber sometimes shifts and then gives it to him. By the time that happens, Saka has more people in front of him.
Interesting. All right, so I think
back to Lewis-Skelly. So
no. But I'm interested on Timber because I want to talk about Timber and Ben White. Actually, I think it goes without saying with Myles Lewis-Skelly, like he's lost confidence. But I think it's more a sign that he should stay in the squad right now. He should learn. The best time to have a hard time and it not affect things too much is in this Arsenal team right now. Because you can get all the encouragement in the world, you can have all the momentum, motivation, people behind you. Because let's be honest, if you're losing more games and things aren't going well, people are less likely to come up to you, even if you're a youngster, and go, "Unlucky, mate." Do you know what I mean? They might do, but I think they're less likely to. And I think in a team where everyone's performing so great, it's easier to lift someone up. And I think it's addicting to be around that environment, and I think it's better to be in that environment. And I'm not saying that if he went out on loan he wouldn't learn lessons and play more and learn a lot from that, but I think he's just really, really young.
He's young.
He's 18, 19. It's a great place to gain even more confidence. And I think the thing about he's a confidence player. And you even saw it before he came on. You were at the game, so you probably didn't see, but he looked jittery. He didn't have his chest out. Like when Lewis-Skelly has his chest out, I'm like, all right, okay, he's ready to play. But I think the thing we're going to learn about Myles Lewis-Skelly going forward a lot of the time is he's very much like a mentality confidence player, and I think he can become even more confident and more motivated and take on great skills and tips and a feeling from the rest of the squad who are going for a title than if he went to Fulham.
Yeah. My opinion on MLS is and why he's struggling is I think especially at that age and him as a player, he's instinctive. When he came in last season, when we had a bag of injuries and he was thrusted into the lineup, he didn't have time to think. He didn't really have time to just think about, okay, cool, it's kind of a new position for me. How am I going to adjust? He just kind of went and did it. He was like, okay, cool, we're in this crisis right now, but it's your opportunity to go and grab it. He played with freedom and confidence, and you can see that on the pitch. He was our boy. And I think this time, because he's now, okay, this position is now up for grabs. He's had, we've got a new coach in, and Gabriel Hines is trying to teach him how to do body positioning, teaching crosses. There's a lot more for him to digest now. And like, in the long term, it's going to be good, but right now it's quite a lot of information and things for him to digest and for him to go out and perform at the same time. It's tough for any young player. So, sometimes in struggle you learn more. So, we're lucky that we've got the depth to change, switch it up, to have competition, to push other people to be better. So, as Arteta always says, there's every player in that squad is going to have their time when they're going to have to seize the opportunity, or they're going to be used, or they're going to be needed, and they're going to perform. So it's just...
But what a time to have this struggle. What an environment to have this struggle in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're learning from the best.
Yeah.
You're learning from the best. And there'll be plenty of players in that squad. Even Big Gab was in the squad where we were doing horribly, and I'm sure he learnt a lot from that when Gabriel made loads of mistakes. That's just the first person that comes to mind. And he's a likeable guy. And I think you make a really good point that he's just got so much information going on in his head. Didn't have time to think. That's a really interesting point. And yeah, as I say, I do also think he's a confidence player. I think he's a massive confidence player. And yeah, I'm not saying he wouldn't learn a lot from going on loan, but I think right now he's so young. I think this is it's the perfect place to be, and it's the perfect place to go for a struggle right now. Now, I wanted to touch on the Timber thing. Oh shit, my fly's undone. Bro, I think I'm getting old, you know?
Yeah.
I keep on walking into events with my fly's undone. Like, I've got these really nice...
people do that.
Yeah, I know, but I've got these really nice photos on, like...
This is going on the pod.
Yeah, fuck it. It'll go on. I've got these really nice photos on, like, my Christmas party when I was leaving my company. Shout out to Travels, if you want to travel anywhere, do. And I was with my boss. And like we both look really, really good, and like we're posing for a photo. I'm like, oh, it's a nice little goodbye photo. Like it'd be nice to look back on this photo. And then, like, I take the photo with my boss, and then she takes a photo. She takes a camera, and then I sit down. I'm just like, oh fuck's sake! Like, come on, like. Flies fully, like not even a bit undone, like fully undone. I'm like, this fucking sick photo, and like I'm just for the photo midway through the photo, and I'm just like, everyone can see my boxers. I think I'm an old man, honestly. I swear to God, like, yeah, not ideal. Anyway, don't know if and also I do another thing now. I think this is just the way that my brain works. You ever walk into a room and don't know why you've walked in there? I feel like I'm 28.
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah,
I've been doing that since I was born.
Yeah, maybe it's just the way my brain works. But yeah, the amount of rooms I've walked in with my flies like fully open, like, hello!
You're just ready.
My name's Jack.
You're just ready.
Yeah, I was ready. Wee. Yeah, the amount of photos it's ruined is I look like, and they're good ones as well. I don't look chopped. But my flies are chopped in half.
You know you can edit it.
I can AI it.
I don't know. I mean, there must be a way.
I don't know. Anyway, one person who hasn't got his flies all the way down is Timber, because no one ever rinses him. Now, Estevāo was the first one to kind of do so recently, and he's silky, and I want to talk about Estevāo because I think he's special in footballing terms. But look, Ben White was incredible. We all love Ben White. I know someone told me the other day they never rated him, which I found interesting. I was like, fair point, no. But I was very happy with Benny Blanco there. Like, I was very happy with him going forward. Like, and I saw him play against Chelsea the other day. I thought he was brilliant as well. What makes Timber better than White? Because I think they're both really good on the ball. I think they're both good defensively. I think they both have a good partnership with Saka. I think it's intensity with Timber. I feel like Ben White will get skinned that 1 or 2 times more. Whereas with Timber, it's a lot more rare. And that's credit to Ben White.
I don't know if it's intensity, but maybe it's a mixture of focus. And I think Timber's more of a leader. I think it's mentality a bit.
I don't know. Even yesterday, I saw Ben White. There was a camera that went to him. He was like, fucking talk.
Yeah, I remember that. But I do feel like Timber's vocal. Timber works hard. Timber, not saying that Ben White doesn't, but there's an upper level of concentration that it takes to be elite. You can tell this guy wants to be the best. You can tell this guy has high standards. You can tell how frustrated he is with himself when he loses the ball and he makes a mistake. Or I think that's the thing. It's the mentality. You can see. I think he's one of I think I've heard it or seen it, but he's one of the best trainers in that squad.
But Ben White is. I remember the Amazon documentary. People going on like.
Yeah, he's a great trainer. Yeah, he works hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben White said if he was a gardener, he'd be the best gardener if he could.
Mm.
I think so. In a way, it is intensity then.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's that, and what makes him better is they attack in different ways and they have very good attributes going forward. But I think Timber's awareness and strength in the duels defensively is what sets him apart.
Mm-hmm.
It's what definitely sets him apart.
Mm.
And his ability, I'm more of a footballer I'm more of a football fan that I prefer the ones that are able to, obviously I'm maybe not the same type as, I don't play the same way that I idolize the footballers that I kind of favor. The ones that like tight, not necessarily the quickest and the strongest, but, quick feet, keeping the ball in tight spaces, wriggling through people, like, kind of like that sort of thing, that panache, that pizzazz, the technique, the dribbling, that's kind of stuff that I favor. And I think Timber is exactly that. It looks better on the eye. He can play under any sort of pressure. Like, he could be surrounded by 3 people, get out of there.
Yeah.
That for me, that's football. Like, rather than like, give and go down the wing and you're crossing it. Do you know what I mean? I favour the guy that, I think it looks more pleasant on the eye and it's more of an ability to do something like, okay, how am I going to get out of the situation? In the moment, you're in a situation where 9 out of 10 footballers lose, you get out of that situation, you're beyond your opponents. I think that's just a special ability and straight to me personally.
Yeah. Well said.
But Ben White doesn't have that. Ben White he's smart, he works hard, and he uses his manipulation of the ball rather than his technical ability to get out of certain situations. That's where I see the difference.
I've never thought of it like that. I'm really glad that wasn't in the plan for talking about, and I'm really glad. I learned something there. No, I think that's a really good point. No. But I think that's a really good way to put it. I forgot I was supposed to talk as well. But one person who was giving him trouble yesterday was Estevāo. Now, Estevāo hasn't got the best stats in the world. I think he's got like 17 games in the Prem now, 1 goal, 1 assist. So I know a lot of that will be off the bench. I think he's got 3 goals in the Champs, which is pretty impressive from what I was looking at earlier. But for me, and he's another person that passes the eye test. And this is weird, I haven't been to an Arsenal game this year, but I was helping a friend out, Joe Leggett, my good mate who's living his best life in Oz. He was filming a video for someone.
Who's in Oz?
Yeah, he's in Oz. Right. Yeah, lives. Oh fucking hell! Belly just rumbled down under. That's terrible. But I was there filming something for him, and we got tickets to Chelsea Palace. I actually saw Eze in the gold kit. So it's weird when I think of Eze now at Palace. I think of him in the gold kit, even though he's only ever worn it. Anyway, that was a weird random thought. But shittest game of football I've ever watched. 0-0. Chelsea was stiff. Palace was stiff. It was honestly awful. And I've been to a Chelsea game this year, but I haven't been to the Emirates. I need to ask you about that. It's a way of bringing that in. But I was watching it. It was just so boring. And Estevāo came on. I didn't know much about him. And I knew this Club World Cup hype. And he just brought so much energy. And I think Grealish was talking about it the other day. He's so bored of stats because I think he was talking about Pedri in an interview with Tim Sherwood actually, and he was saying he was watching a Barca game and he said Pedri bossed that game, but because he didn't get a goal and assist and rah, it went to someone else. But he was the conductor that whole game, and I know conductors do get praise. I mean, just look at Zubimendi right now, but he brought more than a goal and an assist. He brought a tempo. He brought attraction. He brought aesthetic. He brought control. He brought calm. That's what Grealish was saying. Estevāo brought magic. He brought excitement, and he brought an energy that changed the whole dynamic of the game, even if he didn't score or assist. And yesterday, although he didn't score and although he didn't have too much impact on the game at the end of it, he had that silk, he had that energy, he had that excitement where you don't know what's going to happen. And at the same time, it wasn't all over the place. It wasn't chaotic. It was, this guy could really create that magic out of nothing. I don't want to say he's near the ability yet, or which is mad to say about the person I'm about to compare him to, but he was giving me Yamal vibes. He was silky, gave Timber, the only person I've really seen give Timber problems. It's just he was young. There was times where he got caught offside and when he shouldn't have, but Jesus Christ, his directness. He passed the eye test, and it's just like, it's only a matter of time before this guy explodes. But I don't know what you thought of it, but I just thought every time I've seen him, he's lit up a game. It's just those goals and assists hasn't come yet. And I actually think, what Grealish is saying about when he watched Pedri, I think he should get more credit for lifting the momentum of a game for Chelsea. I think there's so many times this season where he's come on or he's started and he hasn't necessarily got the end product, or Chelsea haven't got the end product at the end of it, but he's just raised the levels, he's raised the momentum, he's raised the feel-good factor when going forward. It's dangerous. I think it's just a matter of time before it clicks. He's special.
I think the one thing that Rosinho will do, and I expect him to do, to be honest, is raise the floor for Estevāo. That's a player right there that, he has all the tools to be world-class and create magical moments. And you can see him get the best of a man, like a little bit, get extra yard. But the yard will become bigger and bigger as he develops. And that will mean that his numbers will get larger and larger. So I think that's the perfect manager for a player like that. And you could really see that the amount of belief and confidence that he's getting out of probably playing under a manager like that. An arm around the shoulder, talking to him, really being more positive around him and like probably educating him a little bit more about the attacking side of his game rather than maybe the bits that he does lack, which is like the defensive side and concentration when, you're offside and you're tracking your man and stuff like that. So, I was denying it before. I think when I'm talking to Chelsea fans, I'm like, oh, no, it's just another fucking Madrid. But no, there's a difference in this boy.
Yeah, it's...
You can't
It's je ne sais quoi right now. Je ne sais quoi right now.
He's a good player, man. He's a good player. Chelsea aren't too far off, man. They really aren't.
Yeah.
They aren't. It's just, whether the owner's actually going to see that and build a team rather than a business.
I'm just going to say this from what I've heard, because I don't want to get anyone in trouble. I think you know what I mean by saying that. The problem with Chelsea is Rosinho's been brought in to coach the team, and that's all he's been brought in to do. From what I've heard and what people have written articles about, the Chelsea higher-ups, what's their name again?
Buko?
No. Oh, well, anyway, the owners of Chelsea, they want to dictate transfers. They want to basically dictate everything, but who Rosinho picks on the pitch and how he decides to train his team. So Rosinho won't have any say in transfers, and that's why Maresca left. There was frustrations, and look, I'm not going to say too much again, but when you now get hired for Chelsea as the manager, you are not the manager, you're the head coach.
Yeah.
That's what's going to hold them back, because Rosinho is going to want to play a certain way. But the management of the owners of Chelsea are going to want to make that big statement signing.
I don't mind that, but it doesn't even feel like they made any statement signings. How many signings have been statement signings? Which one? Just Caicedo and Enzo?
I suppose they do have
and maybe Estevāo was coveted, but apart from that,
they have the
none of those. Yeah.
Well, their transfer policy is signing younger players, isn't it? It's under 25. I think their oldest player in the squad is 28. It's what's his name? The guy that joined from Fulham. Forgot his name. Defender. They've got so many players on there. Tosin.
Well, he was on the free, so I guess that's more business.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. Was it Tosin? It was one of the defenders. There's so many players. They've got a fucking army, but I just don't know how that goes because I haven't seen that at many clubs.
I don't mind the head coach thing. Like, at the end of the day, like, I don't think it's that bad. It's just how we use it. At the end of the day, we had that structure. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, had, but And
Arteta, how did it go?
Well, Arteta earned it. Arteta was a head coach for a couple of years. And then
when it was
became a manager.
Who's thingamabob?
Emery.
No, under Emery we had Mislintat and what's his name, Spanish guy from Barcelona. Forgotten his name, but we was making some fucking weird signings, Mavropanos, and it feels like Arteta's team now.
100%. Like we've had multiple sporting directors, and we'd have had Edu. People didn't like things that Edu was doing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, it comes into that. You need the whole function to work, and like we've probably got a function now where we know what we want, and Arteta has more of a say. But I'm saying,
but how much have we improved since Arteta's got that
But
role.
you
is what I'm
reward
saying.
a special man. You reward.
Maresca is a very good coach. He's
100%,
been coveted
100%.
to take over the City job.
Maresca, I'm sorry, Maresca, you're a bitch. He's a bitch, bro. Like, I'm sorry, like, that guy has the emotional maturity of a fucking teenager, bro. His frontal lobe has not developed, bro. I understand he has a job, but he's not happy at his job. But the guy will kick up a fuss about little things, bro. The guy will be... I understand things aren't going your way and, like, things are happening behind the scenes, but you can't come out and, like, even when he was reacting to certain criticisms in the press, be like, yesterday was the worst day of my life. It's my worst day in the football club. What the fans did, like, you need to separate the certain parts of football and don't leave. The press shouldn't have ammunition to come and attack you the next day, in my opinion. You should be able to control your emotions when people are asking you terrible questions and people are trying to get at you and trying to unnerve you.
Okay, yeah, no, I understand that, but it must be frustrating as a head coach, and I know it's what he signed up for, where you have no say.
At the end of the day, he's picking the teams, and I'm sure, you know, the coach, the owner is making it very hard for him and, like, saying, why aren't you playing this guy? Why aren't you doing these things? But I understand it, but, like, there's ways to hold your temperament with these things. Like, the guy wanted to get sacked. Look at the things he was saying in the press. Look at the amount of criticism he was saying in the press about his owners, about his managers. If you're not getting along with your ownership, why should they give you more control?
Yeah, fair enough.
If you're feeding them to the wolves, and you're at the end of the day, you're the main spokesperson. After every game, you have to do a press conference. Before every game, you have to do a press conference. Yeah. In the heat of the battle, the guy didn't have the temperament to deal with that. People were shocked that he's being sacked, but the guy wanted to be sacked. The guy's been feuding with them for probably the past year.
Yeah, no,
and it's got to a boiling point.
Yeah.
That guy is not an easy man to work with. I know the ownership aren't either, but in my opinion, yes, his performances over the past year were great. He won 2 trophies, won the Club World Cup, they got into the Champions League. Great job, but if you're still being difficult with the owners and, like, you're not playing ball with them, why should they make you a manager?
Yeah. I'm just confused why a new ownership's come in and wants to dictate transfers. It just makes no sense in my head. I get if you've got, like, I don't know too much about, like, the sporting directors or anything like that, so I can't really comment too much. But I know they dictate transfers, and for me, I've just never got that. I always think a head coach should work alongside someone.
100%, the head coach should have the final say because he's the one that picks the team. He should have the final approval. Do you want this player or not? Do you want this player or not? We want to have this. Convince him. If you can't, then leave it. It's no point bringing a player that the coach don't want unless you want to choose the player or the coach.
And I think that's what's going wrong at Chelsea.
Yeah, of course. I think someone like...
It just feels like there's too many says. It's like they look and think, oh, that would be good.
No, I'm sure they have a team that are dedicated towards it. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know.
Yeah, I know
some of the players that they target and, like,
they've got a transfer strategy, signing young players, but I just will never understand it why head coaches don't get a say. I know Maresca's not helped himself, but that would drive you fucking potty. It would drive me fucking nuts. And then when Arteta got a say, signing started improving. I remember someone saying, even at Madrid, I think it was like Ancelotti, sporting director, Florentino Perez. There was 3 people. But like even now with Arteta and Berta, it's like, do you like this person? Oh, I think we should go for that. Great thing about Berta now is he convinces Arteta to sign. Like I know Arteta wasn't 100% convinced on Gyökeres.
Yeah, he wanted Seska.
Yeah, he wanted Seska, and then Berta was like, nah. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's a good relationship.
Yeah, of course. Arteta.
But having no say at all is crazy to me.
No, Arteta had a say, and remember he didn't want to. There was times he wanted to sleep out. Do you know what I mean? Like, Arteta's made mistakes in the past. Do you know what I mean?
100%. That's what I'm saying. But at least he has a say. Like, I find it mad that Rossini's now got to go into a job. He can't make a plan. So he's got to develop a culture, and it's clearly what he's doing. He's like, I want everyone to get along, and some people think he's doing too much, i.e. the Will Mackenzie memes. But he's walked in, and come the transfer window, I'm sure it's not as black and white as I'm making it sound. He doesn't know who's coming in the door in the summer, really. There's a whole team negotiating that, and he's got to focus and build a plan, build a squad, build a tactical way of playing. And yes, I'm sure the recruitment of of the recruitment department of Chelsea will target players that fit in with Rossini's plans, but it just feels like none of, from my understanding, and a lot of Chelsea fans, please correct me if I'm wrong, it feels a lot more centered around the recruitment stuff than nice part, than the head coach. And I just find that crazy. I know there's a strategy, brilliant, there's a strategy, but the head coach has got to have more say than what's being reported. All right, we need to wrap up because it's late, and we're rusty at the old podcast game. But when recording this, Xavi Alonso's just been sacked. Now, I've been doing a lot of reading into this.
I can tell.
I've got my little notepad. I have to write it down because I've got a memory of a goldfish. But from my understanding, everything you explained before was bang on. Xavi Alonso wanted to bring more tactical instruction habits, like video sessions, etc., etc., and a lot of the players didn't like that. According to The Athletic, 3 players didn't like that the most. It was Vinicius, Bellingham, and Valverde. I thought Mbappe was included in that, but in fact, Mbappe apparently was one of his supporters for a lot of this, and obviously there's the whole Mbappe curse. I find that staggering. I know it's Real Madrid. I know it's aura. I know they've got mentality. And I think you look at Man United right now, and we're going to touch on Man United in another pod, and they're lacking mentality right now. It's all tactical nuance, etc., etc. And I feel like sometimes developing a mentality within the squad, you see it with Arsenal. Heard Rob Holding talk about, would you row the Viking boat? And like Rob Holding's essentially said, Arteta's not only developed a real good tactical squad or like way of playing, you know, mixing in old-fashioned English football with technical kind of tiki-taka football, for a lack of a better term. He's also developed a mentality slowly by surely, you know, the light bulb thing. And Holding was saying essentially he missed a lot of the times with the mad kind of stories he would tell, but he told one about rowing a boat and like how it would be like, would you go and help your mate? And basically Arteta also develops a winning culture. I think Man United are lacking that right now. Yes, you can bring in loads of tactics, and again we'll touch on that. But Real Madrid have always had that thing where they're like, we're those guys. So you haven't won any trophies last season. Habits are creeping in. They're terrible. The mentality that you have and Real Madrid have, because you've won nothing, in my head, none of those players in that squad should have arrogance or think they're above anything. A change needs to be had. If Real Madrid aren't winning anything, not even a Copa del Rey or a Super Cup, things need to change. And yes, I know they just lost the Super Cup final, but I'm sorry, losing to a second division team yesterday shows that there are way more problems than Xavi Alonso's tactical analysis or video sessions. I think it's absolutely fucking stupid and looks terrible in Vinicius, Bellingham and Valverde. Now, I know Mbappe was supporting Xavi Alonso, but, you know, Xavi Alonso wanted to do a classy thing and like give Barcelona a guard of honour as they collect the trophy. Mbappe ushering them in the fucking tunnel. Cheeks, the guy had a 70% win record. He wasn't exactly doing terrible. They're in a transition phase. What, you're not allowed to have a transition phase? You're not allowed to implement new things? And Vinicius coming off from the 72nd minute, I think, when they were 2-1 up against Barca, and Alonso brought him off because he wasn't doing this defensive work. And he comes off, and apparently, this was the quote: "Why is it always me? Maybe it's better off if I left." I'm sorry. You're talking like that at Real Madrid? Do you think Cristiano Ronaldo ever said once when things weren't going well in a game, maybe it's better I left? Bruv, you're not getting singled out. You started the fucking game. It's not like you've been dropped. You weren't defending, so you got taken off. Deplete your ego. Ever since you were nominated for that Ballon d'Or, you didn't really do nada last season. You didn't really do nada. He has the ego of someone that's won a Ballon d'Or, and you haven't, geez. You act like you're bigger than you are. Vinicius,
Never seen him this animated. Jeez.
I've been reading more and more about it, and just his conduct. I'm sorry, that is the most pathetic thing to say. I think that is the most pathetic. Why is it always me? Why is it always me? Maybe I should leave. snitches to fucking Florentino Perez and created a whole scene. Brother, you won nothing last season and you haven't won an individual accolade in terms of the Ballon d'Or. I'm sure you've won many individual accolades because you're a very, very talented footballer. But, mate, he needs to fix up his attitude. He could be so much better than he already is.
He's been shocking in terms of his attitude for the past couple of years. And, like, you're right. You can tell someone's personality or when they don't really win something or they're let down massively or things don't go their way. He's thrown his toys at the pram and he hasn't been able to recover from that probably embarrassment of not winning. Do you know what I mean? They had no class about him. And I think it's weird for Real Madrid. This transition is so abrupt. You've gone from someone that's such a great manager, wasn't really focused on the tactical aspect of the game as much and more on the atmosphere of the changing room and his belief in each of the players. And you've gone and done a 180, and gone in the opposite direction and gone for a manager that's probably one of the most tactical minds about at the moment. Obviously, he understands the infectious ability players should have and what it means to play for Real Madrid and top teams and the ability you need. But he wanted to bring a different thing, but maybe it was just too soon.
But I don't even think the Madrid fans are against it. I was even going in the comment section on Instagram and everyone's like commenting Xavi Alonso gifs and going like, well, we shouldn't have got rid of him. It seems like a lot of Real Madrid fans are fed up with the players.
Of course, like, it's been a breeding ground for egos for the amount of time. Like, you now have Bellingham acting a certain way during the England camp. I know people have different opinions about that, but, you know, that sort of thing is, people can smell a rotten egg out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? I do think the media don't know what they're fucking talking about, but I'm sure people in the dressing room feel like, you know, the guy probably thinks he's above them, whatever it may be, but it can't help that when you're at Club of Real Madrid, you feel a certain way, your chest pumps up, your ego becomes more inflated. It's hard. Like, I probably get spoiled going to Real Madrid, do you know what I mean? But Vinicius, Mbappe, a lot of these players have definitely crossed the line.
Yeah, 100%.
You can see the turmoil and how spoiled some of these players are. But Mbappe's had these problems since the PSG days.
Yeah.
He's had these problems, and going to a club like Real Madrid is only going to inflate those issues that he's had.
But they've won the Champions League. Well, Mbappe hasn't, but a lot of these players have won the Champions League, won many trophies. I'm very aware of that. But I don't think they even fucking touched the Zidane era. I know there'll be one or a couple of players in there that are still part of that era. Doesn't come close to your Bales, your Ronaldos, your Modric in the middle. Even Carvajal's still there, but your Carvajal's, like, I just can't.
It's tainted now. Like,
I never thought they were that arrogant. I'm sure there were many, like, obviously the Bell with the flag, and I'm sure there were many conflicts and many, like, egos and many, like, arrogant wanky things to do. But do you know what's the difference? And I know this team have won the Champions League and I know they've won trophies, but this era of Real Madrid, they're not winning now. So you can't act that way. And that's the difference. You can't act like that. You didn't win a trophy last year for Real Madrid and they only accept the best. That's the difference. And that's why it just bemuses me. I just can't believe you're still that arrogant and you haven't won a trophy last season.
At the end of the day, like, it's just, Real Madrid still is probably the biggest club.
It's the biggest club in the world.
Like,
yeah, 100%.
And you get a sense of pride for playing in Real Madrid, going to the Bernabeu, being around the fans and seeing how full of pride they are for their club. So it's hard to turn that tap off. Look at Manchester United.
Yeah.
Still can't let it go.
Yeah.
Still can't let it go. You can't. It's
Well,
to reverse that culture.
Do you hear what Roy Keane said?
What?
Fergie's hanging around like a bad smell.
Yeah, well.
Anyway.
Well, yeah, they never got along, did they?
Nah.
So, but yeah, it's tough. Like, I don't know. I've always been more favoured towards Barcelona and the way they play and what they stood for and stuff like that. But maybe that's Messi influence. Maybe the players they had before Messi. But I don't know. It's an interesting time in football. It's definitely a transition period across all these leagues. You know, I think this Galacticos feel is kind of becoming a bit more tainted, and people kind of trying to build the right way, buying young, building for the future, building projects. Project, it might take time, but, you know,
I think
feels truer.
I feel like the end of the Galacticos kind of happened when it was Mbappe, Messi, and was it Neymar though?
Yeah, yeah. Even they couldn't get along because of Mbappe and his egos.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I feel like that's when people are like, all right, okay, we definitely can't do Galacticos anymore.
But as soon as Mbappe was the best player in the world at that point when he left.
Yeah.
Soon, the season he leaves, they all win the fucking Champions League with no stars, with no ego. Luis Enrique is finally able to play the football that he wants.
Well, that Dembele bloke won the Ballon d'Or, so he kind of is a star, but he didn't act like
he became the star.
He became a star.
He became the star. He gave him the platform. Like, yeah, he's a star now.
Yeah.
Would you say he's top 5 in the world right now? I think people would debate that right now. He's not having the greatest season now. He's had a few injuries here and there.
Yeah.
You know, Luis Enrique suddenly wants to leave. That happens. Second season after one of your most successful seasons is very hard to come back from. But at the end of the day, egos left. Neymar left. Messi left. Mbappe left. They had nothing left, and they're able to work hard for each other. When that expectation and that gratification towards one big player disappears, everyone's on the same level playing field. Same as what's happening at Arsenal. You only buy people that are ready to invest in what you're building there. There's no point buying a Rodrigo that's going to come and be like, I want to start every game. Yeah. There's no point in buying players that will spoil the dressing room. You need to buy players that are intelligent, that want to win and want to be in a team. Yeah. And I feel like there's too many clubs right now that have a position of the opposite, like Man United. The troubles that you probably saw at City, obviously they're still covering the cracks. Real Madrid, even Barcelona at certain points, you know, they've suffered because football's changing. The quality of the mediocre opposition is becoming more and more high. So, I don't know, it's an interesting time. Football is becoming more competitive and you never know who's going to win the Champions League now. Yeah, which is great. Or even the league in some respects.
All right, there is so much to talk about, but not a lot of time left because we didn't know how to pod again. And we've left this way too late again, so that's why we're talking a bit quiet in my house. But I'm just going to throw Maddest moment out there, just to make sure we do the segment. We'll come back stronger. Arda Güler's kick after this, that was so bad. Someone said he lost Aura points for 10 years. Go and see it if you haven't already. I might attach it to the video now. Or if you're listening, search it up. And then, just a random one, Kulusevski's. My belly just went one by here. Kulusevski's sister is having a kid with Ayan. Is it Ayani?
Or Brighton?
Brighton, yeah. Not that interesting, but it's pretty mad.
That's your maddest moment.
Yeah, shit. We got to be better. We'll be better this year, trust us. We need to plan our big pods. I promised this on this pod 20 times, but we have not got round to it. As if we got like quite big guests that we could bring on and we fucked it. We need to have a phone call. I'll call you. I need to fire this up.
That's how it ends.
So our camera just died, but if you're still listening to the video, we're going to do it this way because camera overheated. Life's life. But if you're still listening, you've probably got a thumbnail on the screen. I'm going to go for the freak of the week. And the freak of the week... Oh, you do freak of the week, don't you? I do Howler. Howler's got to be Arda Güler for that kick.
Okay. Freak of the week, Martinelli. You know, after... You know, booting a man off the field, he's able to boot 3 in the goal. And I respect that.
Kushti. Sweet as. Yeah, we're not on camera right now. If you're listening,
it's a proper podcast.
Yeah, it's like a proper podcast all of a sudden, and we're not on camera anymore. Anyway, have a lovely week. Hope you enjoyed the pod. Promise we'll be a bit better next time. And yeah, I need to have a phone call with Chika about some of our guests. We've got some transfer negotiations. It's going to be we're going to have our January transfer deadline day. Oh, God. And all will be revealed.